I love Rutgers, having gone here. I love it, and I love coming back and working with fellow Rutgers loyal sons and loyal daughters on the banks here. As I was sitting here, I was trying to think. I didn't really expect to speak today, and I'm honored that you made the time for me. I really appreciate it. And there's so many things I want to tell you, but I only have 7 minutes, so I kind of boiled it down a little bit. One of the things I love to preach about is communication skills. But you already know that, that's why you're here. So I'm not going to preach to the choir. But I will talk to you about a few things that I wish I had heard when I was about your age. And things that I wish I had actually listened to. I might have heard some of these things, but I didn't really listen all the time. So hopefully, by telling you these things, maybe you'll take it, digest it, and use it to your benefit. I hope so. First thing I want to talk about, because, kind of directly dealing with school. Maybe before I start, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I am VP of Education at my Midtown's Best Toastmasters at Morgan Stanley. I graduated here in 1990. I worked right out of college. I really didn't know. I thought I wanted to be an accounting major. You guys got the preview of this. I thought I wanted to be an accounting major, and I was doing horribly in accounting. And an academic dean here convinced me that I should change into a major that I like. So I switched to English. Didn't know what I was going to do. People said, "Oh, are you going to be a teacher?" Maybe. I don't know. Didn't know what I was going to do. Graduated from Rutgers and went and worked in retail for 4 years. And it was horrible. I hated it. I didn't even get into like a management program. It was so bad. I just did not like it. While I was there, I took courses to become a graphic designer. I got a certificate, and I got 2 freelance jobs, one with Sony and one with BMW. So I was some light at the end of the tunnel. I was going to break out of retail. And then I got a job in a call center at AT&T. And that's where I realized that a call center was not such a bad job for me because I was a good communicator, thanks to Rutgers, thanks to being an English major. Worked for AT&T as a call center rep, did not know what I wanted to do, and then while I was there, I did get to be trained by a corporate trainer. I said, that's what I want to do. I became a trainer for customer care there, and then I became a trainer for the sales organization, and I was a national trainer, so I traveled the whole nation on their dime, so that was great. Worked for Accenture for a couple years. I was there for about 10 years at AT&T, Accenture for a couple years. Freelanced during the lean years, which wasn't too good. It was long time to freelance. And then I've been at Morgan Stanley for about 3 years now, a little over 3 years. Your major doesn't really matter. Well, that's not entirely true. It can matter. It might matter. For some people, it definitely matters. But it doesn't have to matter. It's not necessarily going to matter. There are a lot of career paths. There are a lot of jobs out there. The way your life goes and the way your career goes does not necessarily reflect your major. Bear that in mind. I don't have enough time to go too deeply into that. But bear that in mind. Don't feel locked in. Don't feel pigeonholed by your major. You do have a lot of opportunity. The next thing I want to say is, and this really, it's affirmed by Peter's speech, participate. And that's something I wish I had done a lot earlier as well. While you're here at Rutgers, you do have a lot of opportunity. There are a lot of groups, a lot of clubs that you can participate in. Don't overdo it. You don't want to spread yourself too thin. You've heard the cliche, jack of all trades, master of none. You don't want to be that. Better to be the master of 1 or 2 or 3 if you can swing it, than a jack of all trades. Find some things you're interested in and participate. Be active. Toastmasters is a great example. Join the club. And when you join the club, participate. Be in the meetings, volunteer to help out, do some of the activities. That's what you need to do in life. Not for job advancement, although it will help with that as well, but for your own growth. Because until you grow as a person, until you yourself feel good about where you are and who you are and what you are, you're job won't go anywhere, your social life won't go anywhere, your hobbies won't go anywhere. So you really need to, you owe it to yourself to develop yourself. And that doesn't always mean a class in a school, but it might be that. It doesn't always mean a certain job or a certain position, but it might be those things. Be open and do those things. Active participation, I can't stress how important that is. Charity work, by the way, another great opportunity to help others while you learn. The last thing I want to talk about is listening. So when you come to Toastmasters, a lot of people who come, especially when they're new to Toastmasters, they come to Toastmasters because I'm going to speak. I want to learn how to speak. I want to speak in front of people. I want to speak to people. I want to be a good speaker. Well, my challenge to you is, while you're in Toastmasters and you're not speaking, which, let's face it, even if you're doing the 5 to 7 minute speech, you only get 5 to 7 minutes to do that. The rest of the time, work on your listening. Listening is super important when it comes to communication, and most people don't realize this. I didn't realize this for a long time. As I said, I was in retail right out of college. I was a smart kid, so I learned my product. I learned everything about my product, and I could tell you anything you wanted to know about my products that I was selling. I was the smartest one in my department that way. But what I wasn't smart about is that when it comes to selling, it's more about listening than talking. I thought I had to sell. Oh, well, look at this, and this does this, and this does that. No, I should have been listening to what they want. And then I wouldn't even have to know that much about my products. And the best salesperson that I worked with in my first job, he didn't really know much of anything. If he didn't know, if he had to know, he'd ask someone else. But he knew how to listen. And listening is not just about the words, and I'm sure you know this by now. It's also about the body language, facial gestures, the tone, the pitch of the words, right? As much as that sounds natural, because a lot of that is natural, you instinctively read people's body language, facial gestures, tone to a point. It's instinctual and you understand it. The key though is to focus. If you don't focus, you will miss those little cues. And as you focus and as you listen actively, you will start to pick up on even more. And that will help you in turn to be a better speaker. I became a good writer here at Rutgers, majored in English. But you know what makes a good writer? And any good English professor will tell you this. You know what makes you a great writer? Reading. Reading, taking it in, understanding, seeing someone else. If you read Shakespeare, if you read D.H. Lawrence, these great authors, you will learn. You can't help it. Same thing with listening. Listen, 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 and you will become a better communicator. One other thing about listening, listen to yourself and be careful. Those voices in your head, we all have an inner monologue. A lot of times that inner monologue isn't really coming from you. Things get put in your head, advertisements, news, TV, movies, things get put into your mind. It's not really you, so you need to learn how to take a step back, detach from where that, or not even detach, but think about where is that thought coming from? And what do I really feel? So when I talk about listening, listen to yourself as well. Very important. So those three things, don't worry so much about your major and a job. Those things have a way of working themselves out. Preparation is the best thing that Peter was talking about. Whatever job you're going for, whatever your major was, how you interview is going to be probably bigger. Participate, get involved, just live your life. You know, do things. It's easy to go out drinking after work with the crew and partying and taking vacations and doing little else. It's easy to do that, but it's not. It's fake. Participate, and then lastly, listen, 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 and you will become a better communicator, and you will become more enriched in general for that. So with that, thank you, and it's again an honor to be here. Best of luck to you graduates. I hope to be back next semester, visit you again. Thank you.